You think that, Patty?
I agree.
All right, listen, I want to start with this. Oh, what a night. Watching Tottenham on a Tuesday night. You play first because you're fucking shy.
You can't then tell me that two players go out and you strengthened as well, and then all of a sudden your whole season crumbles. It's crazy. And to me, if Arsenal don't make top 4 this season, that is one of the biggest bottle jobs in recent Premier League history. But imagine me then turning around and saying, oh, you guys are celebrating today, but 3 weeks ago you were unhappy. That's football. But it doesn't make you a flip-flop fan.
Yeah,
You're actually enjoying I'm not happy, man. I was underwhelmed. I was quite shocked when he was when we were linked to him. I mean, we had some big hitters in there originally, Conte, Poch, you know, so then to be then linked with
Grin, almost as big as he is, because he's like 6'5". Very good friend, very good person. Previously of our channel friends Views TV is the one and only Patrick Tyrant.
Yes, what's happening, people? It's your boy Patrick Tyrant, aka Young Swaggy Daniels. When you see the T, see the P. When you see the P, now represents T. Let's go. I think we're live. Yeah, man. I think we are live. Okay, what is going on, people? It's your boy Patrick Tyrant. I'm back with another episode of Chatty Patty, and to be fair, this guy is so good we had to get him in from the start. As you guys know, I typically like to start with myself. I talk a bit, you know, I mean, chop it up. I was like, nah, this guy is so good, Wolves through and through. He's from the area. He's gonna talk his talk. So literally, I had to get Dave on from the beginning. So before I even start with all of my stuff, Dave, what's good? How are you?
I'm good, man. Thank you very much for having me. I know I delayed things a little bit, so I apologise for that. But no, yeah, looking forward to it, man. Looking forward to the game this weekend as well.
Yeah. It's gonna be a good one, and we're gonna get into all of that. And yeah, it's not gonna be as plain sailing as some of our boys think, but we'll chop it all up. But yeah, thank you. We're back. Another episode of Chatty Patty, episode 3. So you know they're flying by. They're coming thick and fast. Obviously, I'm Patrick Tyrant, aka Young Swaggy Daniels. When you see the T, see the P. When you see the P, now represents T. Let's go. And yeah, I mean, where do we start? It's been a fantastic week. It's been a fiery week. The creme de la creme is back, and I think you know the weekend's fixtures. It really got into it, and obviously, I don't want to touch on every game because I want to keep these short. Punchy and sharp and just get straight to the point. So literally we're going to get straight to the point. Tottenham versus Chelsea, or Chelsea versus Spurs, because we were away on Sunday, the last game of the Super Sunday fixture, and it really did live up to the billing. You know, we were all talking about all week. Everyone was giving their predictions. A lot of people, funny enough, had Tottenham going in as favourites, which is it just goes to show the turnaround since Conte came in, because we are crap at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea are that bogey team that we can't even get. I mean, in the last, I think 6 or 7 fixtures, we'd only scored 1 goal. Going into that game, we were drawn 1 and lost 6. So we were literally down and out, no hopers. But even I myself, I'd predicted a 3-1 win on the football terrace. And, you know, loads of people were chomping at the bit for us to get spanked again. And obviously for them to pull up the clips and get me. But yeah, boy, what can I say, man? I mean, instead of me doing the talking, Dave, did you see the game?
I did. It's not very often I actually get to, other than the Wolves games, not often that I get to sit down and watch a bit of Premier League football. But I was free on Sunday afternoon. I caught the Forest West Ham game, which had a lot of drama. And I thought, you know what, I got some time. Let's watch the Chelsea Spurs game. That had even more drama. So for for you guys as Spurs fans, I'd assume, you know, part of it would have. You wouldn't have been happy with too much. I don't think the performance from Spurs' point of view was fantastic, but for a neutral, on and off the pitch, there was lots of drama, man. So, yeah, really enjoyed it. But I think, you know, although Spurs didn't play fantastically, the fact that they've still come out of that game with a result is a positive. And I think long-term, you know, if you can still grind out results even when you're not out at your best, I think that's a good sign for Tottenham this season.
Exactly. And that's pretty much what I said. So, you know, on Monday, they were ready to cook me, so to speak, on the football terrace, because they were like, oh, you said you were going to win. You said, because basically I said Kane, Son and Kulusevski will put these guys to the sword. You're going to see that Koulibaly isn't as good as people are making him out to be. You're going to see that Sterling, who I think is fantastic, will struggle with lesser players around him, because obviously you've gone from the fact of playing with KDB, KDB, Bernardo Silva, Foden, and all the attacking riches at City to then playing with all due respect, Pulisic, Kai Havertz, Mason Mount, who I do like Mason Mount, to be fair, so I shouldn't throw him in the mix, but still the quality is nowhere near as good as the other guys, and so on. And to be fair, when the game kicked off, I wasn't sat behind the couch, but the figure of speech, I was sat behind the couch like, fucking hell, I've jinxed us. Everything I said literally got thrown out of the window. And we were, like you said, we was on the back foot from day one. They were so good. And I haven't seen Chelsea play well. To be fair, I don't even like watching Chelsea play at the moment because they bore me. They're actually really boring. Apart from their performance against Real Madrid at the Bernabeu, and probably at home in that fixture, they've been really crap to watch. Against Everton last week, they struggled and it was a boring game. They just about won with a penalty. So I was thinking, yeah, we'll go there. Obviously, it's a London derby. Obviously, it's Chelsea. They're going to raise their game to play us. But I did think we would have the better of them. But I have to eat humble pie. I was completely wrong. And they played us off the park. And we were literally hanging on for dear life. Even, at 45, 44 minutes, I was just like, please just let it be 1-0. Do not let us concede another. Because, what did you think of the Koulibaly goal?
From a Spurs point of view, the marking was dreadful, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was, to be fair, a great finish. I've watched Koulibaly a couple of times. I'm not going to say I've watched him loads, but whenever I watch him, he seems very clumsy. And I was dubious about him joining such, Chelsea, top four ambitions. I am dubious, and I'm sure we will see probably mistakes throughout the season. But to be fair to him, it was a good strike on the ball. I think Carragher said the same on the punditry, saying like he's watched him and on the ball he doesn't actually look great, but you can't take anything away from the finish. But from a Tottenham point of view, he was completely unmarked. The marking was dreadful.
Unmarked, and there was like 3 or 4 of them at the back stick unmarked. I mean, it was a good corner from Cucurella. I'm gonna get into him and his performance, but a nice corner, lofted corner into the back stick-ish area, and Koulibaly was in acres of space. Brilliant volley though. It's a way to control that, take that. If it was Kane, if it was Son, if it was Mason Mount, Pedro Neto, I mean any of the top attacking players that you can think of, if they would have done that, Salah, De Bruyne, we would be going on, and it would have been replayed 100 times. So credit to him, brilliant finish. And I was just like, just my luck, the guy who I've been slating goes and scores a worldie. It's always the way, innit? Whenever you talk bad about a team or a player, they always turn to, and I was like, oh man. But yeah, Koulibaly, he is a good player, don't get me wrong, but I don't think he's a world-class defender. And like you said, I don't watch him week in and week out. I'd be lying if I said I did. But whenever I do see him perform, I don't see the hype that these guys are throwing at him. But to his credit, he had a good game against us. But then saying that, it's not like we were really good anyway. We didn't really put him under pressure. So, we went in 1-0 down at half time. And I was like, you know what? The saving graces, and I even put a tweet, I was like, we're playing like arses. The performance is so bad. The only saving grace is that it's only 1-0 and we can't play any worse. So hopefully, fingers crossed, it's a game of 2 halves. Second half came out and it was pretty much the same. And it was only when Conte made the change and put Richarlison on, he sacrificed Sessegnon, who wasn't that great. So essentially, we went from a back 5 to a back 4. Ben Davis went from, LCB to left back. And then we added an extra attacker, which I thought was really brave of Conte. He didn't sacrifice one of the front 3. He added an extra player. And for all the people who've been talking about Richarlison and where's he going to play, and this is the reason why, just get the players in that you want. Big clubs just act. Yes, 60 million is steep, but you saw the qualities that he brought. Even though he didn't score assist, he completely changed the game. He was attacking and pressing from the front. He was bundles of energy, and he literally infused the team, because a lot of them were running they were playing like they were running in treacle. Do you know what I mean? They were stuck in the mud. They couldn't move. And when Richarlison came on, he was zipping around. He was getting in people's faces and actually increased the energy levels on the pitch. So, I mean, yeah, from a neutral's perspective, what did you think of basically the tactical battle between Conte and Tuchel, and then bringing on Richarlison and all of that type of thing?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things for Tottenham this season is that they've added that depth. They've added options where Conte can look at the bench and think, right, you're going to come on and you are going to make a difference. I think Wolves have, or probably still have, and we're addressing it right now in the window, a similar issue where we look at the bench and think you're not going to have a positive impact on the pitch. I think for you guys now, obviously being in the Champions League, more competitions, you need more competition for places. Richarlison added that. He's a great player. I like him a lot. He's got his haters, but he's a top quality player. And I don't think £60 million is a bad amount of money in this current market for a player of his caliber. In my opinion, is I'm not going to say he's a star Premier League player, but he's definitely a top end Premier League player.
Yeah,
And to have that sort of quality to come off the bench and change the game is good. But yeah, the battle off the pitch in the dugout was always one to watch as well. We've already had a couple of those. Bruno Lage had one against Jesse Marsh on the opening day.
Oh yeah, so of course. Yeah. I actually forgot about that. Yeah, that went off, didn't it? That got quite heated.
Two in a couple of weeks already. Yeah. Is always fun to watch.
That's it. And like you said, I mean, going back to your analysis from the beginning and basically how I took it, we weren't good on Sunday. I can't kid a kidder. I'm not, I'm going to call it how I see it. It wasn't a good performance from us. Chelsea did play us off the park, but the reality is, and I said it and I've been saying it all week, if you don't finish your dinner at the top level, and it could be Tottenham, it could be Leeds, it could be Wolves, it could be even Brentford. I say even, not that, with all due respect, Brentford are actually a decent team, but it could be Nottingham Forest. If you don't finish your dinner and there's only a 1-goal margin in any game at the Prem de la Prem, top level, anyone can punish you. And Chelsea didn't put us to the sword. They had chances. Raheem Sterling will be kicking himself. He missed a sitter from basically, well, it wasn't a sitter, but it was a good chance that he should have at least got on target where he blazed it over the thing. Loftus-Cheek didn't pull the trigger on a couple of occasions. Kai Havertz missed a sitter. Literally, Reece James put it on a plate for him. I know it happened at like 100 miles an hour, but at his level, you should be putting that in. And they had a lot of chances. They had a lot of the ball, but when you actually break it down, we had 5 shots on target. They had 3. And I think, so for all of their dominance, they didn't actually have that cutting edge in the final third. And that's what I've been saying to Chelsea fans and to football fans for a long time. Chelsea are a good team, but they don't have that killer instinct. And I think that will cost them. And it did. So, Harry Kane popped up in the 96th minute with a header. If we rewind it a bit and we go back to the instance before that, the Cucurella and Romero hair pulling, tugging, what did you make of that?
Yeah, I thought Romero was, he made himself a bit of a nuisance. He had a couple of battles with Kai Havertz, which I think is always good, as long as he's careful with it, because, that the hair pulling incident, there are some referees or some VAR that they will tell the referee to go and check that. And I think if it was maybe 10 minutes earlier, I think they would have probably checked VAR and checked the.
They did go to VAR. They did. They looked at it, but like you said, if they go to the monitor,
I think if it was a little bit earlier, the VAR probably would have told the referee to maybe go and check the monitor. And I think it was just because there was already so much drama. It was so late in the game.
Yeah.
But as a fan, you like having those players that are a nuisance, that are almost going to get in the heads of the attackers and scare the attackers. But yeah, you do have to be careful with that sort of thing, because he's going to get a bit, I'm sure the FA or whatever are going to make referees aware of that, and they're going to keep an extremely close eye on him now. So yeah, that's one thing that he's probably going to have to look out for.
Yeah, no, definitely. And you know what, to be fair, I was shitting myself because I didn't see it in real time, even though we was all watching the game, but it happened so quickly. And literally, I think Dyer or someone headed it straight at Mendy. Great save, tipped out for the corner. We're in, like you said, it was so late in the day. It was like the 94th minute when this happened. There's only 6 minutes of injury time. So when they said, they're checking it on VAR and they showed the replays, I was like, oh man, that's a definite red card. He's off. Yeah. And I was like, and like you said, remember, I love him as a player. I think he's brilliant. I love that fieriness and that dog in him, but he needs to know when to manage it. And yeah, it's great getting under players' skin and this and that, but sometimes he does go a bit too far. And in that instance, we definitely got away with one, because that is a red card all day long. Obviously, as a Spurs fan, I'll take it, but I'm shocked that he didn't get sent off. I can't lie. It's criminal it's insane. So I understand why Chelsea fans are annoyed. We definitely got away with one. It is swings and roundabouts. Every team will get their, basically, they just get out of jail card, and we got one. And then sod's law, as we always know in football, when massive moments like that don't go punished or you get away with one, lo and behold, Perisic whips in a corner and Harry Kane's at the back post, and it's 2-2. And obviously we're going crazy. Chelsea fans are going nuts, throwing remotes at TVs and smashing the place up. And it was scenes, jubilations. We're running into the crowd, everyone's celebrating. So yeah, man, that's what football's all about. Literally sitting on the edge of your seat, hoping and praying. That was the last kick of the game. You're like, please, please, please let something happen. And it did. So yeah, what did you make of that, and then the aftermath and the handshake war and all of the, what did you think of all of that?
I just, you had a spell of like 2 or 3 corners at the end of the game, and I just had a feeling, I thought, Tottenham are going to nick something here. They're going to steal a point here. And yeah, the facts, the managers at the end as well. And I know, it's bad, but at the same time, as a football fan watching it, like, it's drama. You love to see that sort of thing. No one particularly got hurt. You know, it's beef between a couple of managers, which we haven't really seen for a few years. You know, back in the day, we used to have, you know, Fergie, Mourinho, Wenger. You know, they go at each other's throats, and we don't see that a lot anymore. The fact that we've seen, like I mentioned earlier, Large, and then there's going to be hopefully more of this throughout the season. Now, as long as there's nothing too violent, that sort of thing is good and exciting to watch as football fans.
That spiciness, that intensity,
Exactly,
literally it brimming from the managers, the players, the fans. We're all getting back into it. I mean, obviously we had a spell with no fans in the stadium because of COVID, and it was boring as fuck. And obviously we were so happy that football was back. Don't get me wrong, but it was some of the games it was actually a drab to watch, and I forced myself to watch all the games because we were without football. But some of the games I was like, Jesus, this is actually so shit. It's so boring. So the intensity from the fans, the players, the managers, we love that. Two of the best managers going at it, both wanting to, you know, I mean, when they scored, Reece James scored, you see Tuchel running down in front of and then
right for the Conte.
Yeah, I know, literally. Did you see Conte's tweet where you
Instagram or something?
Yeah, the Instagram story. He's like, luckily I was looking away because you wouldn't have wanted it. Yeah, so you love all of that, man. You love all of that. So let's quickly, I'm going to do some housekeeping, and I'm going to say, I never do this, but comment on the video if you're here watching, like the video because that helps us a lot. Subscribe to my channel because again that helps it. It's brand new. I've been here, there, and everywhere, but this is my channel now, so subscribe to it because it means a lot. So as you can see here, like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'm just going to go through the comments because we had quite a few people jumping in and tuning in. So we've got my guy saying finally Patrick, because obviously the late start, apologies. So sometimes these technical difficulties happen when you're streaming live. Big up Patrick, big up to yourself. What's Amelia saying? Big up as well. Appreciate that. I can't lie, the performance was horrible, but we still got the luck on our side and got the job done. And I agree with that. I think, you know, like Dave's saying, you're not going to play good in every game. This is football, the human beings. Teams are not going to be at the top level every game. But in a big game like that, or ideally in any game, if you're not going to play well, at least leave with something. Then you can regroup and go again. Don't get beat, you know. Still put the fight and intensity. Your football might not be up to scratch. You might be missing 5-yard passes. You might not be singing from the same hymn sheet, but do not lose the game. Do not get beat. Show some fight and intensity. And I think we did show that in certain areas. And you can see the mentality from Conte is starting to roll through into the players. So I was really pleased with that. Young Swaggy Daniels. Shout out to Dash. Has Hotspur, hi mate, how you doing? Coys, yes, come on you Spurs, agreed. So okay, we're gonna keep it short and sweet, and we want to touch on well actually no, let me just touch on a few things before, and I'm gonna get your take on this as well, Dave. So we had a few talking points I just quickly want to go over. The Bentancur tackle, just quickly, was it a good tackle or was that a foul?
Was that the what on Havertz before the goal?
Yeah, exactly. So before the goal, and you're looking at it. What do you think?
It was weird because from the referee's angle, I completely understand why he didn't give a foul. Then the first angle I saw, it looked like he'd gone through the player first, but I still can't make my mind up. There's a couple of angles where I think it looks like he's got the ball cleanly, and then there's other angles where it looks like he's got Havertz.
It's so weird. Obviously, as a Spurs fan, I'm going to say it's clean, but I'm not going to lie. When it happened in real time, I was thinking, because even Bentancur stopped. If you watch it, Bentancur stopped thinking they were going to call, and then he didn't, and he got the ball back. There was a big passage of play, so it's like a minute after. So Chelsea even had the ball back because we were passing the ball around. Cucurella stole it off. I think it was he stole a Kulusevski in the box. Then he passed it to somebody. He then got it nicked off. Son, Kulusevski and Højbjerg crowded him out. We got the ball back. Højbjerg passed to Davis. Davis passed it back to Højbjerg, and Højbjerg took the shot and we scored. So it didn't happen instantly, but going back to the tackle, in real time, from the angle I saw on TV, I thought it was a foul. But then when they showed the replays over and over, I was like, he actually got the ball. And he didn't tackle him from behind. He tackled him from the side. So I would say it was a clean tackle. But again, if the referee called it as a foul, you wouldn't really complain either. So it's a weird one. But Chelsea did have a long time to get back into, to get the ball back, which they did. And they conceded it again. So, yeah. Did you think that when Højbjerg took that shot, that Richarlison was in his eyesight and in an offside position? Do you think that affected his visibility and all of that kind of rubbish?
I don't think it affected Mendy's visibility of the goal itself. I can understand sort of the Chelsea point of view because, you know, the ball, but I don't think it was affecting play too much. I think Mendy still had plenty of time to see the strike. You know, there was Chelsea defenders right in front of Richarlison, so they would have been the same.
That's
thing,
it,
so,
and that's what I thought, because Højbjerg took a shot from way out, and as soon as Højbjerg struck the ball, I watched it a few times. Mendy dived, so it's not like he saw it late. He dived straight away, and it was from far out. So I think, and even if you watch Mendy, he didn't get up and run to the referee complaining. He just got on with it. He's like, shit, I got beaten from far out. You shouldn't get beat from that far out. I'm sorry. It was a good shot, but it wasn't exactly directly in the corner. I think for me, it was poor positional goalkeeping, and he got punished. I was surprised when Højbjerg took that shot, because I'm not going to lie, Højbjerg was poor for me. But saying that, he had moments. He obviously scored a really good goal, and he was the guy who freed up Kane when he threaded in Kane when Kane was one-on-one when he should have scored. You either score that or you pass it to Son, who had a tap in. So Højbjerg did have some good moments, but it wasn't his greatest game. And just quickly, we spoke about, you know what I will say? I thought it was crazy how no Tottenham player got any yellow cards. Like, literally, we got no yellow cards,
really?
And Chelsea had 3. Yeah, which you wouldn't believe it, would you? With the intensity of the game, everything that was going on. But there was a talking point, and I didn't even see this in the game. Reece James already had a yellow card for pulling Son back when he was through.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you saw, there was a moment off the ball when he also pulled Son back again when Son was making a run, and the referee was right there. And essentially, that is a second yellow. So he should have gone off. Son didn't really make a meal of it. No one else did. But by the letters of the law, he definitely stopped Son running through. And it's a second yellow.
It was a foul as well towards the end of the game. But Reece James is in my fantasy team. So, so I was happy when he scored. But then when he did that other foul, I was like, oh my God, he's going to get sent off.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. So I think
he had a couple of fouls.
Go on.
No, he definitely had a couple of fouls in there after the booking as well. So, I think Spurs have got every right,
Reece James, what a player though, man. Honestly, what a player. I mean, we're quite spoiled with riches in the Premier League in terms of your right back position. You've got some tasty right backs, and obviously for England as well. But Reece James, I love that guy. He's a good player, man. And for me, he was comfortably the man of the match and the best player on the pitch. Scored a good goal as well, like to show that calmness as a defender, because he is technically a defender in the box from a Sterling pass, really good. And he was putting in them crosses on a sixpence, so credit to him. But anyway, enough of that. Let's talk about why you're here, my guy. Wolverhampton Wanderers so far. What's your thoughts on them? I mean, last year you had a decent-ish season for yourselves. What's been going on in the summer? How are things feeling? What's the mood in the camp like? Basically, what's going on?
It's interesting because, ever since we had obviously one of your old guys, Nuno, here at the club, we did so well under Nuno, and then sort of I think COVID killed his time at the club. Really, he had no passion. He thrived off the fans, and we just had a really poor season. So the club thought it was time to move on. We brought Bruno Lage in, who stuck with the same system as Nuno because he kept predominantly the same players. But this summer it was a big one because Bruno Lage wanted to put his own stamp on the team. We've seen him switch to a back 4 rather than a back 5. We've seen him lose the likes of Connor Cody, which is obviously a big talking point.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
Cody, there's a lot of people outside of Wolves that are like, why are you getting rid of him? He's your best defender. He isn't. He's not our best defender. And in a back 4, he wouldn't work. So for him in a World Cup year, he needs minutes. There's a mutual respect between the club and Cody because he's been here for 7 years. So that's why we've allowed him to leave on loan.
Who is your best defender? Sorry, so we know. Who would you say?
I would say, Max Kilman has come on a lot as a centre back. But we also signed Nathan Collins from Burnley, who's a really good defender as well. Both young, hungry, quality centre halves, and they've started off really, really well. But it's going to be interesting. There was a lot of worry because for the first game of the season, the only new player in the squad was Nathan Collins. Our bench was pretty much all under 23s players. But over the last week or so, we signed Guedes last Monday, Gonzalo Guedes from Valencia. And probably by the time we finish the stream today, we'll have signed Mateus Nunes from Sporting.
Oh, man.
What 40 million pounds.
What a queue if you get him. He's a top player, man. And, and you guys seem to have this connection with the Portuguese players and that Portuguese league. You pull some gems out and, people are looking at it. Like, I see Man United fans going crazy. Like, why are we not in for him? Because obviously they need quality. And they're looking at even West Ham fans. They're a bit annoyed. Newcastle fans, even though everyone's talking like, why are we not in for this guy? So that's a quality addition. And like you said, it's pretty much more than likely going to go through now. I'm hearing he's having his medical today. So, yeah, man. I'm sure you're excited about that. What about from the striking position? I know he seemed a bit light up there.
Yeah, so obviously we've got Jimenez, who unfortunately is injured right now. Well, it's not been officially confirmed yet, but I've been told that he may be part of the squad on Saturday against Tottenham.
Okay.
We had Fabio Silva, who's gone out on loan, which I think is a good move
Oh
for him.
wow,
He started,
gone out on loan.
yeah,
I didn't know that. You know,
he's at Anderlecht and he scored 5 in 6 games in all comps, so he started off really well.
But why has he gone out on loan? Because he's a good player. Is it just the minutes?
Just one game time for him because he came to the club and he was never really meant to be a starter or anything.
Yeah.
Sorry, my dog's in the
That's
background.
all right.
He was never meant to be a starter, and because of Jimenez's major injury, Fabio Silva got thrown in at the deep end, played a lot more.
Yeah.
And last year he was okay, but he didn't score a goal. And I think Wolves just decided, right, he needs consistent game time.
Development.
And like I said, Anderlecht's in a fairly competitive league, obviously not as strong as the Premier League, but they're in Europa Conference as well. So he's going to get that European game time.
Yeah.
But like I said, already scored 5 in 6. I think he's got 2 assists as well in that time. So he's had and in the Belgian league, the limelight is off him a lot. A lot of English press and Wolves fans were, gave him a lot of stick. So I think it's a good move, but we haven't actually got an out-and-out number 9 striker right now fit. So I think that's another area that Wolves will address before the end of the window as well.
No, fair enough, man. Fair enough. And then you're seeing some comments here actually for you guys. Losing Cody is mad, but Collins is going to be great. And you've got Nunes in the Prem will be great. Can we see Bruno Lage versus Jesse Marsh and Antonio Conte versus Thomas Tuchel on the Youth versus Joshua undercard? So yeah, man, that's a funny comment. So yeah, shout out to Dash. He's got a really good channel there, Dash Sports. They're literally, like the channel says, it does sports, so it doesn't just do football. They do MMA, UFC, they do wrestling, they do F1. He does a bit of everything, so really good guy. Tennis as well. So yeah, follow him, everyone, and give him a butchers. But okay, so Tottenham versus Wolves. It's basically a fixture that is for me. Okay, let me add some context to this. I've spoken quite clearly on what I feel will happen this season. Especially when people throw Tottenham in the mix of title contenders. We're not there yet. I think we're a good team. I think we've improved. I feel we will get in the top 4. I feel that the league now for me is broken into mini leagues, and you've got Man City and Liverpool basically fighting for first. So that's the first mini league. Then in my opinion, you've got Tottenham, Arsenal and Chelsea fighting for 3rd and 4th. Those are the other 3 best teams. Then you've got United for me. Then you've got, I say United. United should be there. United, West Ham, Wolves and Newcastle. You guys, for me, will be fighting for the 7th and 8th, but essentially 7th is what you want because you want European football. So for me, that's how the leagues are broken down. I think you guys had a good season last year. Yes, you didn't finish in European spot, but it was a decent season considering, and I feel you guys will be better this year. So I mean, what's your thoughts on that, and what's your aspirations for the season?
Yeah, we hadn't really strengthened much before sort of the last week or so, and I just thought if we can get a top half finish, that'd be good. Like you said, we had a really good run last year, and then towards the end of the season, we'd lost out a couple of times to Arsenal, lost to Leeds, and it's completely knocked our confidence, and we sort of slipped down the table towards the end of the year. But we spend a lot of money now, and I think Wolves have all of a sudden got these ambitions and thinking, you know what, we need to start spending money if we want to be serious in the league again. So I think European football is probably a stretch too far this year, but solidify ourselves as a good top half team, bring in another couple of players next summer, and then I think we can go at it again for next season.
Yeah, because you're looking at 7th right now, and yes, West Ham finished there. United may slip down a bit. You got Newcastle, they'll be pushing, and I would put you in that mix. I know you're saying it's difficult.
So.
I would put you in that mix, definitely. I mean, you finished there a couple of years ago. I know obviously things have changed, but you're good enough. And no teams want to play you, and that's a credit to you guys. Like when you look at Wolves, you're like, oh shit, that's going to be a tough game. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We could sometimes. Don't get me wrong, you're not at it, but when you are at it, you're tough. And even going back to our head-to-head, I looked at the last 5 fixtures, and on the 13th of Feb, which is literally the one just gone, you lot beat us, spanked us at home 2-0. So like I said, on your day, you can beat anyone really. And that was in a moment where we were obviously pushing for top 4. So those games are games that we had to win, and you came and you pretty much played us off the park. I think we were like 2-0 down in like 18 minutes. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was a quick start.
And then, quick start. Obviously, we tried to come back in it. You didn't let us. So like I said, you guys on your day can be really good. Then you had, we beat you 1-0 away from home, one of Nuno's first games, Dele Alli penalty. And then we were pretty much back against the Wolves and we saw it out. So again, that one we was hanging on. EFL Cup, I think it was 2-2, went to pens and we just nicked it on penalties. Then you've got last year, we beat you 2-0. and then we also drew with you 1-1. So the games are quite tight, you know. A few W's, one loss and one draw, but none of them have been like plain sailing. So yeah, how you feeling about Saturday? What's your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, it's gonna be a tie game. Like you said, we've had some good matches since we've been back in the Premier League, and it's gonna be a big test for Wolves because it's our first game against what I would class as a strong team with our new formation and system. So I'll be really intrigued to see how Bruno lines up. Are we going to sit deep and try and counter attack? Or are we going to just try and get at you and attack? Because that's what we did earlier in the year, and that's, you know, we almost caught you by surprise, I think, scoring.
Yeah, you did, because I was at the stadium and I couldn't believe it. Obviously, I'm like, yeah, cool, we're gonna give these guys a game, and you just came out, boom, 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 and before we knew it, we're shell shocked. We're like, shit, you know, like when the team's just like, wow, what's happened? And then you're trying to gather yourself, and then you guys then could just sit behind and just pick us off at certain times. And you played your game plan to perfection. But you talked about a new formation. What formation are you playing now then?
So the first 2 games of the season, we played like a 4-2-3-1. That could change on Saturday to a 4-3-3, just to add, you know, an extra man in the midfield. So I think Matinho, who was injured last week, could come back and start. Maybe a surprise start for Mateus Nunes. I think he'll start on the bench, but they might shock us and play probably Neves, Dendoncker, and either Matinho or Nunes as a midfield three. So it's good. It's getting more players in the box because we didn't score a lot of goals last year. So that's what we're trying to do.
And to be fair, with the 5 substitutes, like you said, even if he doesn't start, he'll get some sort of run out.
For
because
sure.
you can, you know, with 3 it's a bit tight, but with 5 you can pretty much throw 1 or 2 on just to give them a bit of a run out.
Exactly.
Rest a few players. But we've got some comments here for you again, Dave. So we've got Wolves are a quality side, so I won't underestimate them. But after their start to the season, I think we should beat them. And yeah, to be fair, I feel we should beat you as well. But like I said, with Wolves, I can never be too confident. I know you've won one. No, you've drawn 1, lost 1, haven't you, at the moment?
Correct, yeah.
But again, you know, you could easily come, and if we're not at it, you know, you could give us a scare, really. So, yeah, let's see. Yeah, this is actually a good point. What's Adam Troy saying for the season? Is he still at? He is at Wolves because he came on, didn't he, the other day?
Correct, yeah. So he came on for about 20 minutes on Saturday. He had no pre-season at the club. He started with us and then apparently picked up an injury, so he was out of action all of pre-season. But yeah, he's still at Wolves. He's out of contract at the end of the season. No sign of him signing a new deal. Obviously, we rejected a bid off Tottenham 12 months ago for £40 million.
He did.
So I don't know what's going on with him.
Interesting. I mean, a good player, but he needs to get his head in the game. And to be fair, as much as attacking, you said you're not sure if he's a good player, or you know.
I love watching Adama Traore play. But the thing is with him, he wants a contract which reflects him being the best player at the club. I.e., he wants to be the highest paid player at Wolves.
Okay.
But if you're not scoring 5, 10 goals a season, or getting 5, 10 assists a season. This was last season where he hadn't picked up a goal or assist at this point, and he was expecting to be getting 100. You can't justify that.
Yeah, exactly. And yes, he looks good on the eye, and yes, he is a dangerous player and he's a threat. But like you said, at the end of the day, you still need end product and results, and that was something that was always questioned. Because even when talking about him moving to a bigger club, it was like, what's the end product saying? What's the result saying? The argument was if he plays with better players, he'd probably get. He went to Barcelona and he didn't do anything.
I think he's one of those players where managers look at and think, I want to be the manager that gets the best out of Adama Traore because he's that good. Physically, he's like unbelievable. He's so quick. And you think, right, he's just like a project that every manager wants to work on. And that's what I think he'll have going for him. But yeah, I think Wolves will try their best to sell him if they can get 10, 15 million.
Yeah, exactly. Otherwise, he walks for free, doesn't he? Which is like,
exactly.
Oh man, I hope this isn't true, but I'm seeing quite a few people say this. Romero out for a couple of weeks because of an injury, muscle injury, is what the people are saying. Which, it's a bit of a bummer. He's our best defender, but it's annoying. He does pick up these little niggles and stuff. So. Obviously I'm on the stream, so I don't. If this is true, that is really frustrating. So yeah, not good. So that's a big bonus for you and a real shitter for us, man. So yeah, I don't know. That's actually thrown me off. So I mean, anything else you want to touch on regarding Wolves and where you're at right now and what's going on with you guys?
Well, I'm just hoping, like we've been saying, it's going to be a strong season. You know, I'm hoping the next couple of weeks we're going to have, before the window ends, we sign 1 or 2 new players. Nunes is going to come in. Hopefully, it's soon. And hopefully it's a strong season. But Saturday's going to be a big test for us. First big test, first strong team with us playing a back four. It's for us as Wolves fans, we really don't know what to expect.
Yeah. Early. Well, in your favor, early fixtures are always a bit of a nightmare for the bigger teams. They typically don't do well in these 12:30 kickoffs. So I'm a bit that like usually that does throw some sort of spanner in the works. You saw Liverpool drop points in their one against Fulham. And then obviously we've got this one. So fingers crossed we get something done. And also, let's see, what's your predictions for the top four? We haven't had you on before. So top four, I mean, obviously the season's kicked off now. Top four, top six, Europe. You see my predictions at the bottom of the screen. What's yours?
I think it will be City will win the league again.
Yeah.
I think they haven't started brilliantly, but Liverpool probably second, Spurs third, Chelsea fourth, Arsenal fifth. I don't think United will finish top sixer. I don't know. I think there'll be a shock team in there. I can't tell you. I can't think. There could be anyone. Could be West Ham. Like you said, Newcastle. Could be ourselves. There's a lot of good teams in there, but
Definitely.
I don't think United will finish top
six.
You
know what? I did this at the beginning of the season before a ball had been kicked. And obviously first get, I mean, United are looking really bad. The thing is, they got Liverpool next. Liverpool don't have a striker. Sometimes these things work out really weirdly, and United will pick up a shock result or get a draw. But if we're being realistic and honest, United will probably get spanked. So I might have to readjust that. Once the window closes, I'll be able to look into that a bit more. But as it stands, and all I'm hearing is that they're getting rejected left, right, and centre for every player they're going in for. They have no strategy, no direction there. It's a bit weird. So let's just quickly wrap up on the comments and then just keep it short and sweet. Romero is injured. That's a bummer. And this is why, for me, we need another centre-back, man. We really need to go big. For me, before the window closes, I want us to get a quality attacking midfielder in. And we need another centre-back of Romero's ilk, because Romero does get injured. There's going to be a lot of games. Looks like now we're going to have to play Sanchez, who, to his credit, was decent on the back end of the season when Romero was injured, but he's nowhere near the player Romero is, and the quality shouldn't drop that much when the player's out. So Skip close to return as well. Good news. Oliver Skip, good player, but again, the injuries do concern me. He's so young and he's always in and out of the team, which is frustrating. But anyway, I digress. Dave, where can we find you? What have you got going on? Talk to us. What are you saying?
So at Talking Wolves on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Do similar sort of stuff to this. We do match previews, match reactions. So obviously, if you're a Spurs fan, you want to see me either upset after the game, if you guys beat us, or if we beat you, what went wrong for Tottenham. Obviously, I'll let you know. And then we do a fans react where we get different fans on as well to give their thoughts as well. So catch us on that. Talking Wolves everywhere.
Cool, brilliant. And I'll put all the descriptions and everything like that in the links for everyone. So make sure you follow Dave. Good guy. He's got really good channels, doing really well on YouTube and on Twitter. So man. But I'm just gonna, that's it. Keep it short and sweet. Keep these punchy. So Dave, thank you for joining us. You're more than welcome to come back when we play you guys again. And for me as a Spurs fan, let's just keep the momentum going. Good result against Chelsea. We weren't at our best, but we got something out of it. Ideally, we want to beat. Ideally. I'm not going to be humble because you're here. We want to beat Wolves. We need to beat Wolves. Let's get the 3 points. Obviously, we've just heard a shocker about Romero being injured, so hopefully the boys are up to the task, and then we go again. But until next week. Obviously, you can catch me on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram. It's at Patrick Tyrant on everywhere. The link, there you go. The links and everything like that, and the name is right there. So give us a follow, give us a butchers. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll catch you soon. Take care, people. God bless.